Hello, how's it going? This is Chad. Thank you so much. And that's Darren over there. And we're just super pumped that you're here. People are just piling in right now. I'm just super excited. Let's see. I'm getting messages right now. I believe two. All right. Cool. In. And all right, let's go. So my name's Chad Ogstead. I'm going to talk a little bit about me real quick. Then we're going to go over to Darren. Then we're going to get into some training. And we're just going to give you so much value. You're going to want to stay all the way to the end. Trust me, this is going to be out of hand. If you know anything about internet marketing, you know it's funny. I'm in right now, and that always happens, doesn't it? I'm getting messages right now. I believe. Boom. All right.
So like 10 of you?
What's that?
There like 10 of you?
It was 10 of me.
Nice.
It's always the best with 10 of me. All right, so my name's Chad. So if you know anything about internet marketing, you know one of the most important things is to build a list, right? What people don't really realize that you've probably heard cliches like the money's in the list and all these things, and they're true-ish, right? But really what's more important is actually having a relationship with that list, being able to communicate with it, having them trust you, having them being on the edge of their seats when you send an email and getting ready to click, open and read your emails like you're the new 50 Shades of Grey book, right? Like at the edge of the seats, just waiting for the next juicy detail because it's just so valuable and it's entertaining and it is just so valuable to their life and their business, and then they're just waiting. These people are just waiting with their credit card, and they're just sitting there with it, sitting there on their thing, just waiting to just buy whatever you're selling. And let's just make sure that this is on the page. Did you refresh the page and see if it's live there, Darren?
I'm not on that page anymore, dude.
Let me throw it up there. Just make sure we are. Yeah, there I am. Cool. Okay, so my name is Chad Ogstead. I have been doing some sort of marketing, trade sales, network marketing, some sort of something for about 10 years, right? 2005, I got into a network marketing company. And God, if I would have known what I know now, things would be so much better, right? I used to buy leads, those things that we generate now on a daily basis, any from 10 to several hundred a day. I was paying anywhere from like $1 to like $3 a piece for these leads. And I would call them all day long. I would be calling them. I would start around 4 o'clock. Calling leads, and then when it got to about 8, 9 o'clock, I would move into the Central Time Zone people, and then then I would move down to the Mountain Time, and then the Pacific Time, and then I would stay up to like 11, 12 o'clock calling people in Alaska and in Hawaii, and that's how freaking crazy I was for like. How long? Like 2 years. And actually, if you guys could let me know. Yeah, live. Perfect. I'm getting messages saying it's live. All right, cool. So, wow. It went from 0 to like boom, just this whole thing just blew up and tons of people are in here now. Super excited for this. Anyway, so I'm sitting here, I'm calling leads, I'm getting people hanging up on me. I'm getting people. I would call them back. I'd send an interview with them. I'd send them to a website. They would check out that website, and then they were supposed to come back. I was doing even more depth kind of interview with them to see if they're right for my business. And I'd be calling people back, and they're like, "Yeah, sorry, Tom doesn't live here." And I go, "I talked to Tom yesterday." He's like, "Oh yeah, this isn't that. No, Tom does. You sound exactly like Tom." And he's like, and then you'd have people they would put their they would opt into this page, and I would call them up, and they're like, yeah, I never put my information in that page. And I go, ma'am, you know, you better get out of your house right now, because somebody's in your house using your computer to put your information, you know. And so you get tons of that kind of stuff. I did that for 2 years, barely building a business, selling like really low. Well, they were expensive things, but I made crap on them. And so I got burned out. I got really depressed. I got super addicted to video games. Did that for 2 years, playing World of Warcraft. If anybody's ever played World of Warcraft, it's very addicting. Don't do it. And one day I just pulled myself out of that hole, that depression, and I went and got help. I seeked out somebody that could help me with my issue. It was a therapist. I did that for a while, but then I decided I had the picture painted for me. I knew that I wanted to have my own home business. I knew that, and they always talked about you could work from anywhere, and you could you know, be from the beach, or have your own business from the beach, and this and that. I caught it, hook, line, and sinker. I just got sucked in so hard. And I knew I wanted that lifestyle. I wanted to be able to have that business. And so I started searching, but I knew I needed money. So I actually got into door-to-door sales, started selling cable and lawn care and roofs and solar and satellite and all different types of stuff. And got really good at it, actually. I was making multiple 5-figure months in a row. But I kept on feeling like I was grinding. Like every week I'd wake up on a Sunday night, just like it is now, and I'd be like, oh my God, I got to go back to work tomorrow, and I got to freaking start knocking doors, and I got to start the week over just like it was, you know, like I never even did this before. And I just got super sick of that. And I got really good at it to the point where people would call me from different states, and they would ask me to come to down to Florida or down to California during the winter, because I live in Michigan, and to come help bolster their sales, help train their salespeople, do this kind of stuff. And so I'd go to these different states, and they would have me out there. And I went to Florida. I was down there for like 2 weeks. I'm sitting in this office with this guy, and he was making $80,000 a month running these different offices for this cable deal. And he was telling his story about how he drives from Tampa to Orlando every day, which is 2 hours, 4 hours, you know, both ways. And that he works 6 days a week, and he's pretty much married to his job. There was no like going and sitting on the beach for him, because he only had 1 day a week, and you know, you got to have that 1 day to do laundry, and then there was no traveling, because if he would leave, the whole organization would have fell apart. And I'm like, this is where I'm going. This is the pinnacle of my, if I, you know, I focus and I really put in the effort and everything, this is where I'm going to end up. And this is not where I want to be, right? That's not where I wanted to be. And so I made a decision in that moment that I was going to quit that. I was never going to do door-to-door again. And then I was going to pursue my dreams in a business. And it's funny is I've been searching for 2 years while I'm doing all this door-to-door for a business. And I jumped around, and I found all kinds of things. I never found anything serious or anything that could really work for me. And when you truly make a decision, it's like everything changes. Like things start popping up, and you actually find the business that really is going to be serious for you, and it's actually going to work. And I quit. They booted me out of the housing that they put me into. So I had free housing, I had a rental car, I had all this stuff. They kicked me out of that. So I took the last like I had like $200 or whatever. I got a hotel. And I took the last $150, and instead of buying a plane ticket like a sane individual and to get back to Michigan, I took my $150. I jumped into the business that I'm currently in, and I just went freaking batshit crazy. I just went nonstop. I actually took like the model of door to door and took it into this home business and launched my business from this hotel because I knew I needed to stay there to make sure that they were going to pay me from this door to door business. And so I stayed down there for the next 2 weeks, and I started launching my business. I got 10 sales in my first week with my business, which is really good from what I hear. And I just started making money right away. And that's not really typical, but I wanted it so bad. I just really wanted success. I really wanted to make this work, and I wanted that lifestyle. And then I eventually started building this email list. And it's funny is I got into, I was kind of slightly abandoned by my team. I had no like mentors in my current upline. Anyways, they didn't really necessarily know what they were doing, or I didn't want to follow them, whichever one. Maybe I kind of a rebel or whatever. And I started plugging into this team, and this team had these webinars every Wednesday, and they kept on bringing this goofy looking guy out there talking about email marketing, talking about copywriting and this and that. And I'm like, man, like this guy, and he would write all the emails for these webinars, and I would send them out to my small list, and I would actually get sales. And I'm like, holy crap, like this really works. And that's Darren. So Darren, why don't you tell your story a little bit, and how people pay this guy a ridiculous amount of money to write emails for him. You have gurus that are making 7 and 8 figures that call him and demand him to write emails and pay him just a ridiculous amount of money to write their sales copy for their launches, and he does the whole campaigns for them. And he's just one of the most sought after email copywriters, or just copywriters in this whole industry. And I've been silently stalking him for a long time, and have ended up becoming good friends with him, and actually had the opportunity to hang out with him down at a really cool event that we were at down in Florida last May. And that was really awesome. And I'm gonna get to hang out with him hopefully here in August. And I'm just super, super excited. So Darren, why don't you tell your story a little bit and kind of show off, some of your skills.
Yeah, no, thanks for, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you got you loud and clear.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me out here tonight. I just think that I just want to say, first of all, if you're watching this, Chad's come from a place where, I remember the first time that I met Chad, it was after he would just copy what everyone else was doing, and then just like, because he didn't really have his own story voice, like he didn't have that, he hadn't come into that yet, and then seeing the way that he's like grown, and now is like commanding premium prices for coaching, for bringing lots of people into his business, and doing good things, and has a huge following. It's amazing to see the transformation. I just wanted to just say that this is why people get involved in being an entrepreneur, right? And I think that people are entrepreneurs as people, but I think when you actually come to realize what it can do for you and what it can really do for your life, I think that what you're doing right now is ultimately what people strive to achieve. So I just think it's a really cool thing that's happened. But yeah, I mean, like Chad said, my history, if anyone on here, I don't know where the comments are, or if we can even see who's talking or what, but I know a lot of the people that are on here tonight, and I just look back, 4-ish years ago, and there was a time when I really didn't have that voice either, right? I didn't understand how to communicate with people in a way that would help them realize that where they were didn't need to be where they were going, and where they were going could be elevated in such a way that by being part of a community, being part of you know, being part of a community and having mentorship and having the ability to really work with people could take their lives to the next level. I was that person, 4.5 years ago. I was that person that was seeking something different, that I had that, itch inside of me that I needed to step up into my own life and just kind of explore the opportunities that were out there. I just didn't know what that was, right? I didn't know if it was just doing better in my current job, if it was going into sales, if it was I didn't really understand what my purpose was, but also what my real skills were. And when I got started online, I kind of came across these websites. I put my email in, and I started getting emails. And this was new to me. It was the only emails that I was used to receiving were from people like large corporations, right? Large corporations offering me discounts, offering me special deals. That was the only real thing that I had been a part of. And then I put my email into a website, and it was I had started this network marketing company, and I was learning how to get leads on the internet. So I found this website, and I put my email in, and I started getting these messages. And what happened was kind of unique. What happened was the person that was writing them was speaking directly to me, right? I felt it that this person actually not only knew what I was experiencing, but had also experienced that themselves and knew how to put every emotion that I had, every thought that I had, and every experience that I had had in my life. They knew how to put that into words and kind of speak it right back to me. And once that actually happened, I didn't look at it and say, okay, I need to buy everything. Right? I did buy everything, but what I learned how to do was take myself back and say, okay, if this person is doing this, is running a business this way, how can I learn how to do the same thing, right? And that's, I think, what a real entrepreneur does. And you're probably like this. You look at something and say, if this person's doing this and it's working for them, how can I learn that skill? How can I get better at it myself? And how can I, have that success as well, right? So I started really studying the people that were marketing, but also the people that were teaching them how to do these certain things. So I went kind of one level deeper, and I didn't just look at what was being sold as the surface product. I looked at the process and the business model, and I wanted to really learn how to replicate that for myself. And it didn't mean selling other people's products. It didn't mean, building a network marketing business. It didn't mean anything like that. It meant really, how do I figure out what they're doing and then do it for myself, right? And through just learning and investing, a lot of money in products and in services and in coaches and in learning and education, I was able to practice my way to proficiency, right? I was able to start writing and start really identifying the market that I was going after. I started to identify who I was writing to, and I really became a student of people because I really just wanted to understand what made people tick, and then I could match what I was selling at any moment in time to the needs that they had and create that perfect bridge to their solution. And that's really where me and Chad got connected, because again, like he said, I was doing webinars with a team that we were connected with, and just teaching a lot of people how to do email marketing, and not email marketing in a way where it's based on mass volume and you have to have these huge guru-sized, mammoth email lists, but email marketing in a way where you're really connecting authentically with your audience, right? Where your audience actually knows who you are. They don't just know the business opportunity. They don't just know, the sales video or the sales letter that you're promoting at any given time, because that can change, and again, that does change. A lot of business opportunities, people go from one deal to the next, like they're playing outside on a trampoline, right? They just jump around and they jump around, but what is consistent is the connection that you have with people, right? And if that connection is sustained over a long period of time, and I personally do that through email, and that's what I teach with my clients and things like that. But if you can create that connection, then it doesn't matter what you're promoting, because you are the person that is you're the bridge to any solution that your list is really looking for. So that's where I spent my time. I did promote business opportunities. I promoted network marketing deals. I promoted affiliate deals. I promoted, tons of different things. But the one element that always was there was I always did it through connecting and converting through email. And that's why we're here tonight, is because we want to give you kind of a few key principles that you can take, put into action, and start getting results, right? And I'm going to share like probably 3 principles that you need to have. And if you don't have these 3 principles, you're dead in the water. You don't even need to. You shouldn't even be waking up in the morning and thinking that you're going to be making some money with email, right? And if you do, it's probably luck. But I'm going to share with you like 3 principles that are absolutes that you must have if you want to make money, if you want to have a sustainable business by building a list, communicating with that list, and creating long-term loyal customers that love and respect you and that invite you out to share what you have with their following, right? And that's how, if this is the example tonight of how that works, because Chad met me through email. It wasn't like we knew each other in person. I was just some guy that was writing emails, and he was like, oh, this, he gets it, right? So this is an example of kind of how that works. So that's my story in a nutshell. But yeah, so we can cover anything you want tonight, but I really think that there's a couple of key things that I think we should cover.
Yeah, for sure, man. I actually I was at a big conference a couple weeks ago, and I asked this guy that made like $50 million, all from, he was talking about list building, on stage he was talking, they were kind of just throwing around the mic. And I asked him, he was able to do it in 2 different types of businesses. The first one was our type of business, like business opportunities type stuff. Then he switched from that to financial services. And so I asked him, how was he able to switch industries and be able to use his list to be able to just still be able to promote that business, or a brand new business out of a completely different niche, and how to have it become successful. And the thing he said is you share your story, and you express your passion for this new niche, and how you can, and that's how you bridge the gap from an old niche, or like a different industry, like switch from one industry to the other. And that's really the trick to being able to bridge that, right? Yeah. People think that you can't, you have to see that this is always, and maybe I can throw this out to you. What's more, so what's more important, having the message match what you're bringing them into, or having that, or having the actual right audience? Like if you speak certain words, that's going to attract a certain amount of people out of that audience, right? Example, right? So say this is the difference between like doing a solo ad, right? Just sending out an email to because they're just business seekers, and there's different types of people in that group of thing. And there's probably really good quality people in there. And then there's people that are high on dope, and their lights are getting shut off in their trailer park.
Now where you fit in, or is there a third category for you?
Yeah, completely different. I'm in the good side, I guess.
Okay.
My trailer park lights are on right now. No, so you have, but yeah, so you have and then you have like Facebook ads where you're probably, maybe you're not going to get as much traffic, and it's going to be more targeted people. But okay, so there's that speaking that language, and being able to speak your message. And what's what's more powerful, or what would be more better? What the words? They're just with the mouth. So if you had to pick a scenario where you could use your messaging to like the broad type of people, or use generic messaging to a targeted audience,
Mm-hmm.
which would you pick?
Okay, so I'm gonna answer your question in a little bit of a different way. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So so the and this is all gonna tie in. All right.
Good.
The the three like principles that I live and die by. Okay, are attention, relevancy, and responsiveness. Like those two things together create responsiveness. Okay. You need
Okay.
the attention of an audience. You have to be relevant to that audience, and then that combination creates responsiveness. Okay. So what does that mean in relation to your question? Okay. There's kind of like a 3-point process, and it goes in order of importance. Okay. And, and I understand your question, and it's really about, do you want to have, are you just going to speak from a mountaintop? Okay. And then the people that will resonate with you will just kind of continue to show up, right? And the ones that don't will fall away. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's one area to focus on, right? And if you're doing, social media marketing, if you're doing, free marketing where you're creating passion-based content, okay, and you're creating vision-based content, then yeah, if you already have a large audience, which not a lot of people do, if you already have the attention of a lot of people and you start speaking one message, you're going to have that separation. Okay. The issue is not a lot of people already have a large audience, and chances are, um, the majority don't. Okay.
Right.
The majority don't have an already built audience, and they just need to start sharing their message to it. If you're starting to build an audience from scratch and you're doing it um, through messaging, whether it's on social media platforms or you're doing paid advertising, okay, the quality of the list, okay, the people on the list, that they're targeted, that they are qualified, that they're in the demographic that you want them to be in, that they have certain interests that you want to that um, are more apt to want to work with you, right? So if you have people that already have a um, strong desire to learn about entrepreneurship, you know, home business, they like Oprah Winfrey, right? And I'll get back to the Oprah Winfrey thing later, but they have certain likes and interests. Like if we're looking at Facebook, that they're already kind of in that category of person that you want to work with. Okay, if you're in like the home business industry, or if you're building a home business, so by building a list of those people and then speaking the message that is going to resonate with them, but it's also relevant and authentic to you, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing, that's your best combination,
Right.
right?
The most.
Both, right? Having a targeted audience, right? And then getting their attention with a message that is relevant to what's going on right now in their life, okay? Like right now, like what is happening in their life today at a deep level that you can speak about, okay? So for example, if you're building a list and you're selling a product or something that sells uh, that teaches, I'm gonna be really specific here, okay?
Okay.
Because this is how specific that you can get, okay? If you're selling a membership site that is, let's say gay and lesbian musicians, okay? Just bear with me, okay? Gay and lesbian musicians, and it's like a membership site of like all like concerts and like different types of music, and then discount tickets to like events and all kinds of cool stuff, okay? And then you have an audience that is like right wing, conservative, like Bible thumpers, okay? It doesn't matter how loud you yell, doesn't matter how passionate you are,
Mm-hmm.
the audience is not going to want to hear about your message. But if you can target an audience that, is, pro, gay marriage, they support, that the equal rights, they attend events, they are vocal on social media, they show that by being interested in certain things, by visiting certain websites, by being a part of certain communities. If you can then have that message in front of those people, okay, then you have relevance, right? Because you're speaking directly to the people that you know are going to be interested, but you also have their attention because you can then speak in a way where maybe it's something new, fresh that they haven't heard of, and you can speak in a way that solves the problem that they have. Maybe there's a problem that there's not enough visibility for artists in that community. Who knows? I don't know specifically, but maybe there needs to, and you have that solution. You have their attention because they've been looking for a solution. You have the solution. There's relevance because that's the market that you're going after, and that's the market that wants what you have. And when you combine those two things, you get responsiveness. They will respond to your offer if it's good enough, okay, regardless of how good the language you use is. And that's the thing. Your list is the most important thing. The targeting of your list, what they're made up of. Do you know that they buy certain things already in your market? Do you know that they take advantage of different offers? Are they engaging in different gurus or authors or speakers in your market? And if they are, then your offer then becomes the next thing that's important. How good is what you're offering? Okay, is it irresistible to the people that are on your list? And then once your offer is compelling enough and you've crafted it in such a way that if you put it in front of the right people, they're going to want it, then the next thing becomes, okay, how do you actually put that into words? Okay, what's the copy that you're going to use? What's the language that you're going to use and the medium that you're going to use to actually deliver it? And then if you can get that to a strong level, right, that's where you're able to really dial in your conversions, right? Because like Gary Halbert, one of the greatest copywriters of all time, talks about, he said like his most famous line is like, the only thing you really want is a starving crowd, okay? Because if you have a starving crowd and you have food, it doesn't matter what your sign looks like. It doesn't matter what your call to action is. The fact of the matter is you have an offer for them. They're starving, and the only thing in between them and getting food from you is them, you fulfilling their offer. Okay? Doesn't matter what your copy is, right? You can have the best copy in the world. You can be like an all-star copywriter, but if you're selling, ice to an Eskimo, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay? Nobody wants it. All right? So that's kind of like what I would say to that answer, right? And it really covers those like three real principles of, attention, relevance, and then that combination creating responsiveness in your audience. And that can be used for anything you're selling, right? I used to sell life insurance, and the hardest thing to do is sell life insurance to like a single college guy, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't fucking want life insurance. He doesn't want to spend his money like protecting who the hell is he protecting, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the problem that happens is you get these young people coming into like the life insurance industry, right? And I would like train them on like going after their market. Like how do you actually communicate to your market, right? And they would be like, oh, well, I've got all these friends, and but another friend, they don't have kids, they're not married, they're single, like they're spending more time on Tinder and fucking plenty of fish like Chad does.
I don't know what you're talking about.
to even care about insurance, right? They don't care about life insurance or dying, right? They care about what's happening like now. So it's not relevant to where they're at in their life, okay? Their parents, on the other hand, it is relevant. So it was always about talking to these guys and saying, okay, who can you talk to that that is at a place in time where the demographics fit, right? We're getting that list together, right? The demographics fit, and it's relevant to them at their point in time. So that's why we'd say, look for people with life changes. Are they having a baby? Are they getting married? Are they getting engaged? Are they getting divorced? Get a new job? All these new things creates relevance that now you can show up in their life and be like, hey, you know, we need to review things because you've had a change, and now it's like, you know, there's something new. You have a baby. You should think about protecting your family. It's relevant, right? And when that happens, it doesn't matter how slick they are when they talk, right? They showed up at the right place at the right time. And what we teach about like list building and converting is you just have to show up at the right place at the right time, right? And how can you engineer that event? How can you engineer being in the right place at the right time? And that's all about how we communicate ongoing and how we maintain relevancy, how we maintain attention, how we sustain that relationship, right? Through email, through like constant relationships and relevant information that once that person does have that tweak happen in their life, once they create relevancy by, you know, getting fired from their job, by having some sort of life change that gets them feeling a little bit uncertain, and maybe they do need to, like in Chad's case, look for something else to do on the side, right? Maybe they do need to start looking for a new way to make money. Their friend got fired, you know, something happened in their life that engaged that relevancy, right? And the key is that we were there through every point in time, right? We were there regardless of if they needed us or not. But that moment that they did, you know, we're the person that they go to, because we were always there, you know, in thick or thin. We're in their inbox, you know, supporting them, being there for them, moving them towards a decision, and then that moment that they become relevant and that matches, you know, we're there. Boom, credit card.
Yeah. Right? So, you know, that's one of the things that it's about being consistent, right? You know, just constantly being consistent, constantly like, you know, creating that relationship. And one of the things I do with my emails, like I'm always inviting them to come check me out on social media. I'm always sending them different videos. I'll send them like success. Like there'll be people in my team that are maybe this keeps switching back and forth. I'll just control that. All right. So yeah, and so if somebody in my team, it doesn't even have to be in my personal team. If somebody like goes over a milestone, you know, I think I might have my friend Anna and Alex, they just crossed $1 million in the last 6 months in our business. You know, send it to a link that I shared, you know, to their thing, and or somebody in my team, you know, makes their first sale. Wow, look at this! Their first week, they made a first sale, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be. That's why it's so good to work with a close-knit group and with people, especially people that are having success, because when you have that community and you're working together, you can feed off other people's energy and get ideas for ideas. Like there's seriously, we have a thread in one of our groups, and there's just so many people having success in there. I'll just shoot a video and I'll just go through the thread. I'll go, look at this person's having success and this person's having success. Look at and so I'll make a video and send that to my list, you know, stuff like that. Just social proof and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's really smart, right? Because there's a few pieces initially in a relationship, especially when you're building an email list, that you almost need to have in place so that people have certain beliefs, and you create a level of belief in what you're doing and who you are, but you also create a trust. Trust is very important. Like trust is probably like the most important aspect of sales in any way, right? And if you're selling something online, you know, whether you're present or not, you're in sales, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're letting a sales tool do the job for you or you're the one who's closing a deal, you're still in sales. And one of the most important aspects of selling is trust, right? Because someone has to believe that when they take that step, that they're going to get the result or the promise that you've delivered. Okay, and whether that promise is a certain result, if you buy a shampoo, right, like a dandruff shampoo, and they promise that if you use this 3 times a day for a week, you're going to get rid of your dandruff. If nothing happens and there's no results, they lose the trust there. Okay, so you're not going to buy that again, right? But if you buy a shampoo that actually gets the result quicker than they promise, then you not only trust that they will do what they say they're going to do, but you have inside because, oh, like, I actually got results much quicker, right? And this works in anything you're selling, especially online when you're selling information. And this is something that's important because I know that a lot of people on Chad's list, we're selling information. Okay, it's how to do certain things. It's motivational exercises. It's how-to information. How do you set up a website? How do you email your list? How do you get traffic? Right? If none of that information worked, there'd be no trust there, right? But the simple fact that Chad can go to a thread on Facebook with real live people, actually show the dates and the times that people are making these posts, and say, look, this is this person. You can even click on their face, show them like who they are. There's a real person from Connecticut. They got a family and kids, and this is the result that they're getting. And you can go through that each person at a time. That actually builds that trust aspect because people like seeing people like them getting results that you're speaking of, right? And that's like, if you can do that, if you can just find one person from like a different walk of life, right? And I love doing this with when I interview a client and I'm writing for them and I'm writing like an email sequence. I always ask them like, okay, who's getting results? What are the type of people that are getting results? I find out like who their market is that they're really going after and who, like, in a very clear, detailed way, and then I look for results that are from that exact type of person, right? Because if I can see a guy on TV that kind of looks like me, sounds like me, he's got like a family, kids, and he's getting the results that I'm wanting, I'm gonna believe that more because I can almost implant myself into that situation and be like, oh, that could be me, right? So that's why if you have a market that's broad, right? Maybe you're marketing to men and women. Maybe you're marketing to people that are of all ages, of all different colors, all different races, everything like that. You find different testimonials and social proof from all the different aspects. If you just show like white guys in their 30s getting results, if you have a Chinese woman in her 50s, she's gonna be like, oh, this is just for like young white guys, right? Like it just doesn't match, right? You need all the different aspects of humanity in place if that's who you're marketing to, right? If all you're marketing to is like blonde women in their 40s, then fine, just get a blonde woman in her 40s who's got good results, right? And that's kind of like the thought process that you can go through. So even like one of the things you can do tonight is if you're promoting something, just go find people that are getting results and get a bunch of different types of people, and then create an email sequence around like a success sequence, right? And just share that with your list and say, look, this person's getting this result, this person's getting this result, and even if you haven't gotten results yourself, the best thing you can do is share what the community is doing, and then if you're a part of that community and you can then implant yourself as the center of a community, then that's going to help you associate with that success.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's like the biggest thing is it's like, this person is in my team, right? What does that mean, right? Does that mean necessarily that they are, they're like in my personal team? No, because they could be my sponsor. They could be, we're all in a team. Darren's essentially, we're in the same team, right?
No.
I could take his results and go out there and be like, look, Darren was able to do so and so. Isn't that freaking cool, right? And so a lot of people get hung up with that. I don't know why. It's like they can't or they don't like the idea of using somebody else's success story. When you're new, like you need to leverage other people. You don't necessarily have any credibility. I always tell my people, he was, pretty much homeless in a hotel room, and now he's able to travel all around the country. He's had, multiple 5-figure months, blah, 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 whatever, and use my story to give yourself credibility, because you're working with somebody that has had massive success. You're getting mentored by this person, and that person, the person that there's no difference. See, this is the thing, because I work with not just the person that brought you here. Say somebody on my team showed you this video and you decided to join them. I don't just work with them. I'll work with you too, and you can use my success. Use me, and not necessarily in the sense that you're going to 3-way me in and I'm going to close your person, because that's just not going to happen. Because that's not how I work my business, because that shit's like slavery pretty much. And but it's like, you can leverage me and like webinars like this to basically get sales and get people to decide to buy, right?
Yeah, and another thing is, I look at other industries, right? The home business industry, make money, like that industry is almost like the only industry that people get hung up on using other people's success stories. Any other industry that you go in, if you're promoting a business opportunity, for example, that is in a weight loss opportunity, right? The first thing that you do is you look to see, okay, who's getting results, who's losing weight. You find like before and after pictures, and you find just life kind of transformational stories that the product was the crux of actually making it happen, right? And the product was the star in the story. It's not like Chad came in on a horse and said, here, do this, 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 and you'll lose weight, right? Chad came in and said, here, use this 30-day detox plan or whatever it is, right? And then look at all the people that are having success with this plan, and if you notice, they're all from different walks of life, right? Because I need to be able to see myself doing that, and Chad needs to be able to see himself doing it, as well as my wife, my neighbor, the guy across the street, the crazy dude from like 3 houses down. We all need to see the results happening, and being able to put ourselves in that position. So the other way to use to communicate results, if that's what your kind of offer is focused on, is by creating a relationship that is kind of like an us versus them mentality, okay, like that kind of framework. And if you can create 2 different camps, all right, one with the people that have, let's say, used your product, and maybe the ones that don't believe it works, okay, for example, and then you can basically have 2 kind of stories that go along those lines, right? Here's where I was before. Okay, I was one of them, for example. I didn't believe. I was, I was skeptical. XYZ, and then you say, what? I gave it a shot, and I tried this product, or I tried this platform, or this process. I got this result, right? Doesn't matter how small the result is. That's the thing, okay? If you are, let's say, for example, you're promoting a product that helps people make money, okay? The system or whatever that helps people make money. And if you say that I went through module 1, and I learned XYZ, and I put it into practice. And although I'm not, killing it today, I did get 5 new leads for my business. And compared to what I was doing before, when I was skeptical, looking at this like it was a scam, looking at this like I couldn't do it. If I would have stayed in that mindset, I would have never got 5 leads. I would have never got my list starting to grow. I would have never got access to this information. And now I can see myself going daily and getting 5 leads a day. Then eventually I'll get 10 leads a day. And now that I know this information, because when I joined this platform, I also got information on how to convert those leads into sales. So not only am I going to be getting leads every day, right? But I can see myself in 7 to 10 days starting to actually make money from the information that I have. And because I'm doing this, I actually have the ability to spend more time with my family, right? Not have to go to my job. I can see it in the near future. It doesn't have to be today. You don't have to be, the skinny mini. You don't have to be the person that is in perfect health because of a certain product. You don't have to be the person that has perfect skin because of a certain product. You don't have to be the person that's making 10, 20, 30,000 a month. But if you're in motion, right, if you start and you say, because of what I did, because of changing my beliefs and moving from them and now being a part of the collective we on this side of the people who got the information, who are the people who actually put it into practice, I can see myself reaching 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month. Wouldn't it be great if you could do the same thing and you could get started right now, right? Start at 5 leads a day, 10 leads a day, and work your way up, right? And when you position something that way, that you take this lofty goal, right? I think the main problem in the home-based business industry is that people's the initial promise is too high, right? I want people to believe that the results are possible, but I also want them to have a realistic approach of what it takes to get started, right? I want people to come in and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to have to put in work, right? I'm going to have to put in work. I'm going to have to learn new skills. I'm going to have to put time, energy, and effort in, right? But that's all going to be worth it because I'm putting my time, effort, and money into something that's proven, right? If I do these certain things, then I can expect this kind of result, right? But you have to be willing to actually be that person that's going to go through the process, right? Not just go through module 1 and then skip module 2, 3, 4, when those fucking modules are the ones that are teaching you how to make sales, right? So that's kind of another framework that you could go with that I think people with no results can really leverage, especially with email, like powerful shit, if you know how to do it right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, well, yeah, man. When I saw the value in obviously working with you. So I hired you, and then I referred a couple people, and then they got some results. So Darren can really like look at what you're doing and kind of be able to help you kind of craft your story a little bit better to get things sold. Really excited about what we're doing here soon. So let's see here. So you're doing a result. You're really having them picture kind of where you were, and then kind of having the feeling of you used to be skeptical, and now you made a decision. You decided to buy the product, or you decided to join, and you learned so and so. And now, or since you joined and you took action, you got so and so result. That's like one like an email formula or almost a testimonial formula. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, usually in if anyone's gone through any sort of like story-based training, right? There's one story kind of structure that is very popular. It's called the hero's journey, right? And it's used in pretty much every action movie. It's used in like every Disney movie. that's ever been written. It's the same formula that is used over and over and over again, because what it does is it creates connection, it creates empathy, it creates sympathy in some cases. It creates it almost creates an emotion that you're rooting for someone to succeed, right? Like if you're ever watching a movie, I don't know if anyone's seen the movie Maleficent. I have girls. Okay, I have two little girls. So Maleficent is like a movie about with Angelina Jolie. It's like it's actually the story of Sleeping Beauty, but like the evil fairy who actually cast the spell to put her to sleep, right? Everyone knows the story of Sleeping Beauty as like this princess is asleep and she needs a prince to kiss her to wake her up, right? But this goes kind of like deeper into it. It's kind of a dark movie with a lot of violence for children, which is fun. But it's a story of how she got into that deep sleep, right? And you start in this movie, the main character is Maleficent, which is like an evil character, right? But she's got these, she has a vision of what she what needs to happen, like as Sleeping Beauty grows up. But all these things happen to her along the way, and then eventually at the end you come up with this final kind of situation where it's very different than what you expected was going to happen, but you always want it to happen as you're watching the movie, right? You know what I mean? Like you're kind of rooting for something to happen, and you don't know if it's going to happen, and all these things happen along the way that seemingly get in the way of that end result that you ultimately want to have in any movie, right? Getting the girl, beating the villain, anything like this. Everything is kind of against what you want to happen, and then when it finally does happen, you're relieved, you're happy, you've kind of satisfied that angst inside of you, right? That kind of anxiety that you had, like, are they actually going to win? Are they going to lose? Are they going to, are people actually going to die? Like, is this movie going to be like a horrible ending? Am I going to be left feeling like horrible after this movie, or am I going to actually be satisfied that like the guy got the girl, right? I don't want to give away the end of Maleficent if anyone hasn't seen it, so I won't go there. But ultimately, that story framework is very powerful when it comes to emails, because you're telling your story in a way where if you've had some results, you can then kind of rewind where you started and go through specific events in your life that took you from the bottom to where you are right now, and then you talk about what happened along the way. And when you do it in a very specific way, like you can't just fluff it up, right? You have to write this in a very specific way. You have to have specific elements. You have to have a specific goal at the end that you actually want the readers, your subscribers, to feel. You have to have emotions that you want to evoke. But when you do it in this way, you bring your subscribers along a journey with you. And you can do this in one email, or a series of emails, or a video, or anything like that. But you bring your subscribers along your journey so that by the end, they're actually on your side, right? And they're rooting for you, and they're happy for you, regardless of the level of success that you've achieved, right? You could make $5 on the internet, and that is your big success, okay? Because of what you went through to get there, and all the obstacles and things that were seemingly in your way. By showing what type of person you are to overcome certain obstacles, you ultimately gain the hearts of the people that are following you, right? That's why sharing your story is so powerful, because it's going to resonate at so many different levels with people at different stages, that by the time it gets to the point where you're selling something, or you're asking them for a commitment, they're already there with you. It's just a formality that they want to continue the journey, and that they believe that if you did it, they can do it too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And if anybody listened to my story at the beginning that I told, it follows that specific specific hero's journey. Oh, wow, that's crazy. I don't know what's going on with the thing. It keeps on spiking and dropping viewers. It's really weird. Let me know on my post on my Facebook wall if you're having any challenges seeing this or any. Well, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Probably
Anyways,
every time your face shows up, it drops, and then
yeah. And then when it goes back to you, they come back. They're like peeking out the door.
Like, is he still on? Okay, we'll come back later.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So, what was I going to say? So, you ever see the movie Butterfly Effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't follow the hero's journey. That has like 72 ups and downs. I don't know that because I'm thinking of different movies that follow that like the hero's journey. And I was thinking of that movie. I'm like, man, that one like it put me up and down so many times. I felt it was like a hurricane. But anyway, I forgot to bring this up at the very beginning. And if you guys registered for this at the beginning, I gave you guys the opportunity to earn a one-on-one with one of us, whichever one you want to work with. It doesn't matter. So if you took, so you have the opportunity to take that link, that register link where you registered, and actually go out there and share it with some friends. And then just get 5 people to register. All they have to do is say, yeah, I registered, I watched it, or I came on, the webinar and I watched it. And then what we'll do is we'll actually work with you. We'll do a 15-minute webinar. I've had some great results with the first time I did this. I had the girl, she said that 15 minutes, I actually gave her 20, that was worth about $1,000 to her in her business. So, and Darren the same way, I'm sure it'd be super ultra valuable. So whoever you want to work, do your one-on-one with, it doesn't matter, me or Darren, but we could definitely give you some clarity in your business. So I just want to throw that out there. If anybody took up the challenge on the pre-video, you have an opportunity to go out there and this will be on replay for a little bit. So you have an opportunity to go out there and share it and get those people to register. And then we'll do it on the honor system. Basically just come to one of us and say, hey, I shared the video the 5 times they registered and they came on, and then we'll totally work with you. So cool. Yeah, I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I don't even know what time is it.
10:05.
Oh wow, we've been going for a while. So this is what I want to throw out to you guys. Darren has a boot camp, a email boot camp that he does that's just ridiculously awesome. I bought it. Then I referred a guy that makes multiple 6 figures. He bought it. A ton of people have bought it, and so what we're going to do for anybody in my team, they're going to get like a super bonus for, well, first I'm going to just switch over to his thing. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to join me and my team and basically work with me to help you break through and start making money online. And just to kind of have a mentor situation where I work with you, give you the opportunity to have. Well, people always ask me, what do you sell? What do you do, Chad? What is your product? I had a guy get pissed at me because I wouldn't sell him my business today. And he was like, tell me, I'll give you 5 minutes to sell me your business. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't really sell my business. I just kind of, share my vision and people kind of are attracted to me. But I'll give you the quick pitch of my business. What is it, right? It is, think of if Harvard started doing an internet marketing school. They started selling internet marketing training online, and they were like, hey, for any of our students, you can actually take our products and sell them and make commissions. And I've been able to take this training and be able to make over 6 figures with it, and be able to take even what I've learned in the training and make even more money selling, personal coaching and traffic and referring people to different coaching programs that I believe that are super valuable. And and Darren obviously was a part of this or is still a part. And so if you want to join him in that, but really what we're here about is his coaching. He does a boot camp. And so anybody that joins my team and the mentoring will get this super, super, super extra bonus training with his boot camp. I'm just super pumped about it. Why don't you talk about exactly what you do for people and how you can be valuable? And
yeah, cool. So basically, I'll just give a brief rundown of kind of what my boot camp's all about, okay? Because what happened was, I started working with a lot of clients, and I started working and writing their emails, and then doing kind of one-on-one coaching on email strategy and kind of how they could elevate their profits when it came to email marketing. What I found happening was there was a lot of things that I realized every single one of them was dealing with. Okay, every single one of them, right? So I worked with like over 21 entrepreneurs in 21 different industries. Okay, doing the same thing that Chad's talking about. So I had sessions with them, and I would work one-on-one with them. And I realized that every single one of them had the same problems. So there was a lot of repetition. There was a lot of time that we were spending that overcoming roadblocks, but every single person had the same roadblocks. And it was really like three things. Okay, the one thing was about using their story and really understanding kind of how to get down to that authentic place where that they could help their subscribers really believe in what they were doing, help them kind of go from where they are now to where they wanted to go, and not get stuck along the way. But also they were really afraid of offending their list, right, by sending too many emails or being overly pitchy or really not understanding how to have that natural flow of communication, right? Not having that natural flow of communication with their list that would allow them to have that ongoing relationship and then sell products and services as time went on. Like they all had this problem. I was talking to people. They're like, oh well, I email my list once every 2 weeks or once a week or once a month, and they just didn't really understand how to communicate more frequently, but also not be spammy, pushy, or like really salesy in their messaging. So I asked a lot of them, how much money do you really think you're leaving on the table if you're not communicating effectively with your email list, right? How much money do you really think you're leaving on the table? And the real kind of general answer that I got was probably around $2,000 to $8,000 a month that people were leaving on the table by not having a systematic way to follow up with their clients, prospects, subscribers, but also they didn't really feel confident that if they were making those additional sales, that they would have, they would be able to maintain the consistency that it took to get there, right? So on one hand, I had people saying, yeah, I could probably make, let's say an extra 60, 70 grand a year by focusing on my email marketing in a really powerful way. But on the other hand, they said, well, I could probably do that for like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, but I don't know if I could maintain that going forward, right? So I have this kind of a problem, and I said, well, what if I kind of put something together where I'm able to help you, but I'm not there like holding your hand, right? So that we could actually help people get positioned properly with their list, being a trusted authority, pulling prospects closer to them, and also having like complete control for them to really just sell anything they want, right? Anytime, anywhere, knowing that they have these skills, and that's ultimately what they wanted. So I put together a boot camp, and it's literally a 4-week boot camp that is based on all the problems and roadblocks that people are having all over the place. And I know this in the home business arena firsthand because I've been writing emails and I've been consulting in this space for years, and I know the problems that people are having, and it never ceases to amaze me that every single day the problems are still the same, and I want to put an end to it. I want to actually help people say, okay, look, you can control what you're doing, you can communicate in a way that's powerful, and you can have certainty in your marketing because you're actually doing something that's authentic to you, but also reaches the right people in the right way with the right words, messaging, and formula that we kind of go by. So I put together, it's a 4-week messaging and implementation boot camp. Okay, so what I really want to kind of get across is this is how like we really get your most authentic message out there, so that you're crystal clear. You know what your value proposition is. You know what you're providing to people. You know what your story is. You know who you're talking to. You know how to say it, and you know how to get into authority in a really quick way. So I kind of broke this down. I've got there's 4 modules, and each of them have 7 or 8 lessons in each one, and we're actually almost we finished the first module this week, which is live right now. So if you get this, you actually get instant access to the first module, and then next week we're doing audience building and how to captivate an audience. Then we're going into email copywriting, and then we're going to be talking about authority in the last week. And then I'm doing also going to be doing some expert interviews. So it's like a really robust platform that you can literally get access to. And what Chad was saying is, because we're doing this just for Chad's team, okay? If you join the boot camp and you're a part of Chad's team, like he just mentioned how to do that and everything like that. So if you're a part of his team, or if you wanted to be a part of his team and you end up joining, we're going to be doing a private team-only session, okay? So this is going to be closed doors, and I'm going to be spending as much time as we need to. I'll even allow people on his team, send me the emails that you're writing, send me some ideas that you have that you want to send out, and I'll be going over them and critiquing them live, going over exactly what needs to change, what needs to be amended. I'm going to be doing like an online live workshop just for Chad's team, okay? And this is where you can get kind of like one-on-one work that I do with my higher end clients, but get it for free. Okay, and this is I literally don't do this for anybody. And I sent him a message, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do this. I'd love to help out." And also, what else you get is access to all my swipe files. So I have a swipe file with that I've done over the past 4 years, and I've updated it as time goes on, and I've kind of put together my favorite emails and my favorite structure of email, and with some commentary on how you actually can use different formats to elicit different types of emotion and help people break through and actually make a buying decision. So ultimately, all that is literally what I do. That's basically what we're doing right now. It's a 100% online course. We're going to have live bootcamp training with Chad's team only, and there's a link below on my lower third where you can go if you want to get that, and it's $297, period.
Which is so underpriced, Darren.
Yeah.
When I look at your thing, it's kind of cut off.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it says 4-week email profit boot, and then I see HTT : and then it says my name, and then it's I don't know if anybody else can. Maybe just put in you don't put the boot camp, just put in the address.
Okay, so all you need to do is go to chad.myemailprofits.com. Okay, so it should be there. chad.myemailprofits.com. Okay, and that will take you to a page that anyone that gets this from Chad's page, okay, will get access to that additional session. Okay, so we're gonna keep, and here's the deal. This isn't going to be available forever because I don't want everyone getting this. Okay, first of all, I don't want everyone having access, as time goes on. So this is basically for people. And here's the thing. Like if you're not, if you're watching this, okay, and you're already in like the same opportunity as Chad, and you can't like join him and do this, if you buy and join the boot camp, we'll still give you access to the behind the scenes training. Okay, we'll still allow you in. It'll be a webinar that we host that will be sent out only to people that purchase through this link. So if you want to be a part of that, you'll be able to be a part of it, even if you're already in the same opportunity. We don't want to limit this to anyone, but if you're here watching it through Chad's like influence, mechanism, that's what we want to offer for you. Okay. So, do you have anywhere that you can take questions, my fine friend?
Why don't we do this? Let me do this. I will post my Facebook. I'll put. Okay, guys, if you have any questions about either joining my team or the email bootcamp or anything, go to my Facebook. I'm going to share my screen right now so you can actually get the thing, and we can still get a bunch of people on here. So
yeah, well, that's good. Is your screen blank?
Should be. Can you see my Facebook right now?
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is my Facebook link right here, and just if you have a question about his boot camp, joining me, what that involves, boom, boom, boom. We have a delay, so it'll take a second for people to.
That's cool.
What's the? I forget what the delay is, like 18 seconds or something. But yeah, so yeah, if anybody has any questions, hopefully, so this is the link right here, Chad Oxted 0414. It should be enough time for you to get there, and then I'll basically read if there's any questions, or if you don't want it to be maybe your question's a little bit more private type, you could shoot us a message. I don't know what kind of questions, weird people, you got questions in here.
That's funny.
I know what I mean.
Yeah, and it's cool because what I'm also going to do is I did a webinar that goes through some of the stuff, but mainly what we did tonight is ultimately it shares kind of everything that we go through in the boot camp, and the cool thing is with getting in now, you're getting in before it's already pre-recorded, so you'll be involved in actually creating the content. Okay, so and here's why this is important, because what happened with the first module is I got extra questions from people before I went live, and they were questions that I wasn't planning on covering in the first actual live module, so we were able to cover that. And I think what's going to happen going forward is we're going to be able to ultimately create probably one of the most robust email courses that are out there. There's a lot of things out there that talk about email marketing, and there's some information out there as well. But I'm going to be focusing really on principles that work regardless of what you're promoting. And this is going to allow you to go from, a brand new person or someone that's had some results to someone who ultimately controls everything that you do, right? And when you can do that, when you can control your income and you can, command sales by simply, building a list, communicating with that list, and creating long-term loyal customers, that's what a true business person is made of, right? Just having a business opportunity and sending your link, through pre-written email swipe is great, but ultimately, when you can when you can control the flow of revenue, then that's when you really have ultimate control over your income. So again, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was getting messages that people couldn't see. They couldn't see my page because it was on you instead of it sharing me. So here's my Facebook. If you guys are on here, you have questions, go to my page here. What's on your mind, and go ahead and post on my wall any questions that you have about either joining my team. What comes involved with that? Basically, I'm going to help you, basically break through. I'm going to help you. If you picture like what, if you're basically looking for a business or looking for another source of income, if you're looking for that what I've been able to create, that lifestyle, then that's what's going on. If you already have a business and you need to tweak it, you need to help really kind of break through some challenges. Maybe you're sending emails and you're not getting the sales that you're expecting. Maybe you're sending it and nobody's opening your email. Nobody's taking action when you send it. Then that's where Darren comes in handy. And I want my people to learn from him. So if you're in my team, I want you to get the advanced knowledge that Darren offers in his training. So go ahead and get with Darren and sign up for his boot camp, and then I would love to work with you to help you guys break through.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's that combination, I think, is really smart. Okay, because you help a lot of people really identify their true potential, and when you have that ability, when you have the ability to really have someone help you kind of just bring everything that you're able to do to the forefront, and then you combine that with tactical skills that every day you can get up and say, look, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm going to be communicating, this is my message, this is my market, this is what they want, this is what I'm giving, and you do it in a way where you kind of have that confidence, right, and that confidence and control over what you're doing. The biggest problem that I've seen is the over reliance on having someone do something for you, right? When it comes to email, especially, using swipe copy, using kind of done for you emails, although it's a fantastic, support mechanism, the goal should always be to 100% own your flow. Okay, you own your process. From the time somebody reaches you online to the time someone makes a purchase, you have a say in that whole process. Okay, and at the beginning, of course, you want to use systems, you want to use platforms that are going to help you eliminate a lot of that kind of heavy lifting, right? But one of the main things that you ultimately need to control from day one is your connection with other humans, right? Your connection with other people, your list, your ability to build a list of people that know, like, trust, and ultimately are going to buy from you, but also communicate your message in your voice to them. Because if you're communicating with someone else's voice, it's not going to come through with the same passion, integrity, authenticity as if you sit down and you spend 15 minutes and you just bang out, a killer email that's based on your voice that is going to reach your market in a way that nobody else can. Because when you're using swipe copy or done for you type things, they're written in a generic way so that they can work for multiple types of people. But if you have a very specific audience, you need to be writing from your voice, because there's no one else that will connect better with your audience than you. So you can go to chad.myemailprofits.com. and you'll see it's just a straight order page because all the information we've talked about tonight. So hopefully that works. Hopefully it works.
Yeah. So, and that's live right now, Darren?
As far as I know.
Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. Well, guys and gals, so you have a choice now to make. You can now make a decision. Either are you wanting to get into a business that can have the lifestyle that you've always wanted, or are you ready to take your business to the next level and actually, because, well, let me tell you a story. I went to a workshop in March, and I had a confidence issue, and deep inside, I had something inside of me that didn't say that I was worth actually putting my face on my business. And it was weird. I went to this conference, and I started to break through. I had that huge breakthrough of that. Now I know, I'm valuable. I have value in my own right. My message, my story is worth something. And when I did that, my business blew up. Things just really, really kind of started shooting through the roof. I had my first $20,000 month. I'm now able to travel first class everywhere I go. I'm able to, I went to on like not vacation. I traveled, and if you ever traveled somewhere and just yeah, okay, I want that. All right, I want to stay an extra day. Okay, cool. I'll just stay another day, and I was just able to buy that. I was able to do those things because I made that decision to really embody my business and be the voice instead of stealing somebody else's voice or swiping somebody else's voice all the time, right? And so, if you're ready to take action and either join forces with me and help me, build, because my goal is to help 10,000 people to become financially free. That is my goal, and this is how I'm going to do it, right? That's my vision, and I'm going to be working with these people. And if you want to be a part of that, because I'm going to need generals to help build this army, if you want to be a part of that, just click the link below or the button below. If you don't see a button below, refresh the screen. If you're ready to take your business and you're ready to take your business to the next level, go to the website here that Darren has, and that's chad.myemailprofits.com. And I just appreciate everybody, and you guys have an awesome night.
Peace.
Peace.